For his analysis on this, as well as the future of the jihad, we're live to Washington, D.C., and Dr. Walid Phares. He's an expert on Middle East terrorism and an advisor to the Anti-Terrorism Caucus in the U.S. House of Representatives. And he joins us today live via Skype. Good morning to you, Dr. Phares.
Good morning, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. And I guess my first question here is, we know that al-Awlaki was a recruiter of extraordinary proportions for al-Qaeda. I guess we should look at his legacy. What's going to follow behind him? Are there other followers of his ideology that are out there as potential threats to America?
Absolutely, Brian. That's actually the central question now after the episode of his elimination along with his colleagues. Al-Awlaki, outside the fact that he was American-born, knows the culture, knows the language, knows the accent, and he was overseeing with his friend Khan a newspaper and actually an online newsletter known as Inspire. The goal of that publication was to inspire other jihadists, first of all to radicalize and second of all to join. So the answer is very simple. Because of the fact that he has been able to do so for many years, the assumption is that he has many readers and he has had many people with whom he had established contact, including via email. Let me give you two quick examples. One is Major Nidal Hassan, the perpetrator of the Fort Hood massacre. And another one is Zazi of New York, who was trying to place a car bomb in Manhattan. So the projection is that indeed there will be others who will try to come and replace him, but it's going to take some time.
Well, so does that mean, based on that supposition, does that mean we can, I guess, look forward to more attacks on American soil from followers of al-Awlaki?
Definitely. I mean, the logic here is that, al-Awlaki is not the only guy who wanted to wage attacks against the United States or other democracies. What has happened, the efficiency of this act, is that he was put out. By the time his supporters, his lieutenants, and other cells that were connected to him, or even not connected to him, and read his material, decide to move forward, it's going to be a window. And during that window is the time where we have to be very careful.
Well, and maybe you can answer this for us, Dr. Phares. How does his death impact the ability of al-Qaeda to recruit then? I mean, if based on that supposition, you think that it's going to be increased?
I think so. Yeah, many analysts in Washington or in other capitals, including in Europe, think that this is going to damage the voice of al-Qaeda in the West. I don't think so. I've been following this for the last 30 years. Actually, those who are coming after him, the supporters of the jihadists, have been prepared by himself, by bin Laden, by others. When a leader, an emir of the jihad is killed, this is a signal that his mission is over, he's on the other side, and now it's up to you to move forward. This is not the mafia. The mafia can deter it by killing one or two or three or detaining some of this capo and copy. That's not the way to handle with the jihadist organizations. There is another way, which is a war of ideas, meaning having people from those societies standing up to the ideology, which we haven't been involved in yet.
Well, it sounds like maybe we should be treating this like something from Greek mythology, the Hydra. You cut off one head and three more sprout up in its place.
Actually, this is a very good comparison, and without even projecting names, one would know that after every single cell that we have stopped, at least here in the United States, but also around the world, we always ask the question, is this the last cell? Of course not. As long as there's a factory online or madrasas producing those young minds and training them, we're going to expect that there'll be another wave, of course.
Dr. Phares, unfortunately, we have run out of time for this segment, but I hope to speak to you again in the future, because clearly this is a situation that's not going away.
Thank you very much for inviting me today.
Thank you, sir. That's Dr. Walid Phares, expert on Middle East terrorism and author of the book, The Confrontation, Winning the War Against Future Jihad. Coming up here on Sun News Live, we'll take you once around the sun with the top stories